now on YouTube and Facebook. So I'm going to start only sharing this in Meerkats and deleting it all on Facebook, all on my page, on my because this goes live on my page. So I just I'm just gonna share a lot of stuff today. And today we're going to be talking about fear. Uh, just, I know I was going to talk about the TENS units and how it can be passive exercise, but I kept running into people who, uh, over the last couple of days, who just aren't right, and I'm talking to people on the phone and they don't even have MS. They don't, I mean, we have to struggle with so much, and then we read the news and I'm constantly doing this to find out where our hope is. Now, so much of our hope with the new studies out, the new research says that the Epstein's Barr syndrome or being exposed to mono or at some point that lies in your system and it triggers MS. And I'm thinking that in 1984, all of my friends had mono, and I used to drink from the same soda container. We just, and I never got it. I never got it. But did I not get it, or did it lie dormant in my system? The other thing that I will talk about is that they've done autopsies on people with MS, and the herpes virus is in most of us. So you have to ask yourself, what is it? Herpes simplex 2, herpes simplex 1, genital herpes, cold sores. If you've had chicken pox, which is a type of herpes, that also has to do with multiple sclerosis. So what do we control here? What the research now is showing that, hi, Catherine, hydroxychloroquine, uh, when taken with people with primary progressive MS early on, there's a study that just came out. So, hydroxychloroquine, hi, Jane, when taken early on for those with primary progressive MS, I read a study, 35 people over a course of a 15-year study. They took it with primary progressive. Hi, Gina. Yes, shingles, chickenpox, it's all herpes. But what they did is they gave no, 40, let's just 40 people. Hi, Bill. They gave 40 people hydroxychloroquine, and they had progressive MS, and they were able to walk. After I think 12 years of them constantly taking that, 8 of them had no problems walking. 14 had problems walking, but that's pretty good. Hi, Dennis. So that is huge. So now they're finding that hydroxychloroquine, right, which would make sense, Gina, and I'm talking to you because Sharia is with us. I'm blessed today. I'm so blessed. But you know what? I'm going back to Gina, right? Think about it, Gina. If hydroxychloroquine interferes with viral activity of herpes, think about it, right? Herpes, then in shingles, cold sores, chicken pox, if maybe there's something to it. Yeah, I had a something on my Facebook page because I like to think. I really like to be logical in my thinking and talking about fear, and I posted absolute truth. What is absolute truth? Because I need to believe in absolute truth. Hi there. Let's see. All right. I'm going to, we got, I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. There's somebody on YouTube who jumped in because anybody can. Um, um, anyway, you don't need to know that. So you have to ask yourself, what is absolute truth? And I love John, somebody I grew up with. Right, his sister was my best friend in elementary, junior high, maybe. But he said anybody who doesn't believe in absolute truth won't live long because it's absolutely true that you cannot live underwater. Humans cannot live underwater. Any of the laws of nature is an absolute truth. And there it's so now fast forward to all these fears out there that everybody seems to have. People don't want to go to trivia. People don't want to walk into a store without a mask. People are it's just it's terrible. But I'm telling you what, it's what is reality? What is the absolute truth? Let's look at what is true before we start reacting negatively. I remember years ago, my sweet friend with multiple sclerosis, she had it for as long as I did. Um, we got together and she got off the airplane and it's we've met so many times. Well, all right, fast forward. One time she pulled up in my driveway with her husband and she got out and she started yelling at him because she thought it was his job to comfort her, right? So I gotta say, there's a saying: it's your permission to throw your fist up when not my nose begins, right? So you can throw your fist all the time. Everybody out there. I mean, they're. I think the world is full of bullies, right? uh, it's reason, the world is full of bullies. I mean, if you turn on your TV, somebody is trying to tell you to do something or not to do something. Um, all right, let me try without glasses. All right, somebody is trying to, I don't know, bad vision. Anyway, somebody is trying to, you know, bully you on your couch when you're trying to be at peace. They're trying to, you get an email, you go out and I went to get my MRI done and a woman came out with a double mask and she looked at me with daggers. Now granted I was pushing my walker and I had my swim stuff, so it was a disaster. And she comes out and she looked at me with these daggers and she says, "You need a mask to go in there." And I looked at her and I started laughing. I said, "Will you open that door for me? Because I can't get in." And so she opened the door for me and I went in. Granted, I didn't have a mask because what is the reality? The reality. What is the absolute truth? The absolute truth is that viruses and infections. Absolute truth spread by you touching a surface and touching your face. That is absolute truth. Uh, Also, the absolute truth. So it is important before you develop a fear of something, find out, research the absolute truth of it, right? Because remember, you know what fear is? Fear is it's an acronym. False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. How do we not have fear? Number one, we've got to find the absolute truth, right? If there's some doubt in what anybody is saying, if there's some doubt, that doubt needs to assuage your fears. It just and you know what? Death is is natural as life. There's been a million people born before me and a million people who are going to be born after me. Hopefully, I don't design any of it, but what I'm saying is that uh, it is. Gina points out the function of research of all these studies. The function of research is to determine the absolute truth, which is kind of scary when you pick apart this research. Pub dot med. PubMed is where the universal scientists put the research they all over the world. All right, now it's important that if you go to that site, uh, that you've got to qualify who is giving you the information. What is in it for them? Follow the money. You got to follow the money. There's so much. There is so much. Whose bread is getting buttered, right? So know that, and let argumentation or aggression be last. Amen. Oh, death, where is your sting? That there's no sting in death. And it's said that Christians are free, right? We're free because we've died and you know why we're free? Because we're not afraid of death. And being free, being living without fear of death makes you walk through the valley of the shadow of death with confidence. There's nothing that's going to take me that God hasn't. If I'm being used, right? If we're all on mission, we're all being used, and we're open to being used. We ask God to make us instruments of Thy peace, of His peace. We do that, and we have a role to do. Problem is I was a bad kid. And God thought it right to keep me alive because I had a role to do. And I get a lot of emails from you guys. I am blessed to be a personal mentor to a lot of you guys. Each one of you know in your heart, and you have reached out to me and to each other, right? We lean on each other because we know. Hi, Davina. Hi, Connie. So we know. Thank you. It we know who loves us, and you know how know you know what's beautiful. You know what's beautiful, Davina. You know what's beautiful. Beautiful is in the eyes. I know that if we all had pictures up there. Those of us, you can look in the eye and see the love that God has for you. We're nothing more than a part of the snowstorm. It's just stopped snowing, but it's just it's if once we're a part of a pack of sheep and we surrendered the argument, we just it just we surrender that and we allow ourselves to see the love that's all around us. Gwendolyn posted on it because I follow a couple of you. She posted about how she went to fly and TSA had some sort of emergency and closed down uh, her flight for a couple of hours and they tried to get her in a wheelchair and she was too proud to be in a wheelchair and they insisted so she got in the, hi Michael, they insisted she got in the wheelchair and basically everybody allowed her to have such a comfortable experience. They were even outside in the big time cold and she had a light jacket on. Somebody walked up to her, a man said, "You look like you're chilled to the bone. I have another coat. Would you like an additional coat?" And she says, "Yes, yes." So what we have to do is all of us, you think I'm some sort of a star, which is amusing. I'm not. I'm not, and you guys know me. I'm small town. I'm like your the girl next door neighbor. Those of you, you know me, and you maybe you know me through God because I think I've given you my address, my phone number, my email. I've made it public, and you would think that I'd be inundated. Sometimes I am. I'm overwhelmed, right? But when one of you is having a really bad critical problem and you're sitting alone, you're like, oh, I can't live like this. It's bizarre that and somehow you get a name that pops in your head and it's on your cell phone and all of a sudden you start calling that person. It's amazing that God clears the table, clears everything away from the person that you're calling. And it might not be, so you're sitting there and you're thinking, I'm going to call my mom. I'm going to call Mom, I'm not feeling well. And all right. And mom's like, look, I've got to get my hair done and my toenails painted. I can't talk. I'm late. And you hang up the phone. You're like, oh gosh. And maybe you get a noose in your hand. You're just miserable, right? What happens? And so don't put your phone down and type the news, right? Scroll down and look at your contact list and make a decision. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to reach out. Right? It's amazing that all of a sudden when you allow God to lead you to the person who's going to comfort you, it's not necessarily where you want it. It's gonna be where God brings it to you, right? Hi, Rob. Uh, you know what? Thank you, Rob. Thank you. But it's amazing, and it's amazing. So again, there is so much going on in the world that we don't have to fear. Uh, uh, but we have to identify what is fearful in this situation and what is real, right? Absolute truth will tell you what's real. Um, I had a friend who was dusting yesterday. Well, Brian took me to the gym and I was swimming. And when I came back home, in the bedroom, there was a picture, big picture. Lady Wellington fell off the wall and knocked some electrical stuff unplugged, and the clock was messed up, so it was unplugged, so the clock would need to be reset. And my you know, two reactions. One is the hell that what the hell was she thinking of uh, two reactions. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Right? What the hell? All right. And a Christian would go back and say, where am I wrong? Well, I did have a itty bitty nail and a really heavy, hi Maureen, heavy picture. So it should have been a hanging thing. So, all right, there's two reactions, right? One is looking inside me what I have done wrong, and approaching her with love. And I just emailed her. I said, Gia, I saw that picture was down and everything was unplugged, and so obviously something bad happened, and I want to make sure you're all right. There's two different ways to handle it. I want to make sure. And then she responds, I'm so sorry. A picture fell off. I think you need a heavier hook. I'm sorry I knocked it off. And if to go forward, hi Betty Joe, to go forward, I email her back or text her back. I said, I'm just glad you're okay. And I'm sorry that the hook wasn't substantial. All right, two ways. The other way is to come in, go into the bedroom, look at the picture falling off and the everything, and and say, what the hell? What the hell? What the? She didn't even call me. She didn't. Everybody is not out to get you. There's a saying, you wouldn't be so concerned about how others considered you if you realized how infrequently they did. I mean, going back to Gwen, she goes to the airport and she has always been too proud to take a wheelchair. I don't know why anybody with MS is proud. Betty Joe Sharia says hi, and everybody. All right. Anyway, so you have to ask yourself why. Why if everybody feels comfortable when they walk normally to get a handicap sticker, and I'm telling you, everybody is okay with using wheelchairs at the airport, then how come early on I used to get a wheelchair when I didn't really need one all the time? But let me tell you what getting a wheelchair assistant to the airplane did. I got to pre-board, and then they stowed a lot of the luggage. They stowed my stuff with me, and they got me situated. And the lack of stress, it was so beautiful to sit there. Um, I don't care how long I have to sit there. In fact, the one thing about getting the wheelchair, I'm also the last person off. I sit there, I let everybody go. It's a practice in being grateful. It just and what's real? What is real? What's real? What is the real evidence saying? What so now copious amount of information is coming out that could possibly lead to a cure for multiple sclerosis. If they can kill the Epstein-Barr virus, maybe we can feel better. Now, I don't know. Just, I don't know. There's some absolute truth in that. There's a lot of wrong thing in that statement. So, yeah, always, what it helps? It really helps. It helps to do a Ben Franklin list. Ben Franklin lists as a marketing term, and what it is you start with like a cross on the left side. You say what is true and what appears true, and go down and put down what is true. Right when you divide facts facts on the left side with emotions or opinions on the right side, and then what you're going to have is and this is really especially important to women because and what you have to do is look at the logic. Yeah, it teaches you how to use emotion should never come into consideration when you are making plans for yourself that your life depends. And, emotions are allowed to come in when you have a puppy on your lap, when you're watching a baby goat who is just happy to be alive. If we all could be as happy as a baby goat, Sherry, I posted on Meerkats a baby goat. I love baby goat. I mean, uh, oh my gosh, I'm carrying around my breakfast. But anyway, baby goat, baby goats, they're just happy. So fear, absolute truth. And Jane was talking about having shingles in her 20s, and it just, you know, shingles, it's all related, right? It's all related. And if you I don't know. What's the evidence? What's the evidence? Way back in the 90s, MS, we all had the propensity to activate a gene. That so you're born with the susceptibility to get MS. What activates the gene? Well, it has changed over the years. Now they're saying Epstein's Barr syndrome. They're saying herpes. They're saying, I think it's a meteor shower. It's a meteor shower. Before it was if you had repeated head injuries, if you had strep throat, tonsillitis, if repeatedly, if you grew up in an area that didn't have a lot of sun all year round, if you are of Slavic, descent or a European descent, it's a higher probability, uh, except for you Norwegians, right? And I know, there you are sitting there in Mobile, Alabama, and Atlanta, and Arkansas, and I and Ecuador. Jane, are you back? By the way, are you back from Ecuador? Are you still in Ecuador? Um, so every time somebody tells you to do something, ask. You know, and you can pursue what is logical before you react, the absolute truth of it, or you can pick your argument. If you're in a rush to do something, right, and you just don't want to, you just don't want to poke the dragon. Somebody's just, when a customer comes out of an MRI place and says you need to wear your face mask, and I said you need to open the door for me. Well, that Trump did. She opens the door for me, right? I'm not going to stand and argue the evidence over face mask or non-face mask. So I walked in, right? If the doctor, the nurse, the technician looks at me and says, "Stop, stop, stop! You cannot come in this facility without wearing a face mask. Are you gonna talk about absolute truth, or where is the ends to the means? Just throw it on, get through, take it off to breathe. I carry, let's see, watered down hydrogen peroxide that I spray on my hand. You mix it with saline solution, you can breathe it in your eyes, it's a disinfectant. So I like that. Yeah, I like that. And there's a saying, another saying, I'm full of saying. Another saying is that be careful when you enter an argument with a foolish person, all right? Because onlookers may not know who the fool is. So it just choose your battles. And to what end? I know that there's a lot of people in my life that do not have MS that want to talk about politics, about the state of society, uh, and I know you're feeling it. Just the fear of groceries. I just not being there. The Canadian border being closed to truckers because they refuse to get the next booster. You know what? Does it have your name on it? I'm sitting there at the pool yesterday, and I'm sitting there, and before we to sign up for lanes. Well, I was doing this like a good person because the rule is sign up for your swim lane and be there. So I was doing that. Well, guess what? I'd get there and I'd sit down and I'd look and there'd be nobody in the pool. And yet I'd be on a waiting list to get a lane. Guess what that taught me? I'm not going to take time away to sign up for a lane or when nobody's sticking to their lane reservation. I don't know. I just don't know. To, right? It's and I'm not going to argue. I'm just not going to argue. It's just don't spin your wheels. And when people say, "What do you think about Biden doing this? What do you think about the truckers not getting the vaccination? What do you think about the military?" I saw a video warships going out. You know what? Being able to pay attention to that stuff is a luxury for those who don't put take a bath on your schedule as a major event, right? I mean, God, physical therapy, swim, reach out to somebody in need. All right, and I need to tell you that everybody who's watching me right now or has do God a favor, do yourself a favor, and let God work through you to reach out to a neighbor in need, a friend. Let's all find someone who needs love, right? We need. Let's find someone. Let's get above our symptoms. Let's rise above our symptoms. Our struggles. Let's stop feeling bullied because it's true we are bullied, but everybody is being bullied. I'm just more aware. I'm like, God, you know, grill, get in my grill. That's a saying. The world is, leave me alone. No, no, leave me alone. So what I want you all to do is, instead of participating in the dark side, let's just today, let's practice loving on a neighbor let's, I know I'll walk the dogs today and I'll go slow. Any neighbor walking out of their house or whatever, strike up a conversation and let it be, let that peace come from you. Let God give you the word. Uh, where was I? I was at the pool yesterday, and an older woman walked in, and she knew me, and she's going through something, and she walked and she saw me. She was wearing a double face mask, and I'm at the pool. I'm not wearing a face mask. I'm trying to put on my tons of neoprene because I'm too cold to swim. So I don't want to feel the water. Right? She walks up to me, and I was talking to my one of my best friends, but she walks right over and she hugs me. She kisses me through her mask, right? And she hugs me. And you know what? I turn around, I grab hold of her, and I hug her, and I give her a mom hug. And I don't have kids, but I've got enough mom hugs to know that a mom hug is different in that, and this is good for you guys to know too. A mom hug is when you put both arms around a body, another person, and you pull them in to your body and you hold them and you hold them and you let them be the first person to release. You know what I've discovered? Let me tell you something. What I've discovered do it because I'm a hugger. I wasn't raised to be a hugger. I it's very European family. You don't hug, you shake hands. So, but what I've discovered is that hug, whether you're wearing a mask, whether I step back, and when she went and did water aerobics, of course, what I do, I pull out my hydrogen peroxide, and I made sure that I wasn't gonna get anything, but it didn't negate the fact she needed love. So many people, when you hold them like that and you don't release them, they hold on. They hold on, and it's supernatural. You can tell a loving hug. Again, is there more absolute truth in how you feel when you're hugged by someone who truly loves you, who truly has a supernatural love for you. It's like when you hold somebody like that, uh, you're telling them, "I will give you anything. All you need is love." That's right, Tim. You're telling this is my essence. I don't have much to give, but I've got my light that hopefully God is shining through me to give you what you need. And because I'm not going to fear, I'm not going to fear a nuclear warhead right there with X marks the spot. Right? Right? Because what have we learned? What we learned is that if you worry about things that aren't going to come to pass, right? It's not an absolute truth. If you worry about things that may not happen, what happens? The next day, the following, they never happen. You wasted your time worrying. So stop wasting your time worrying. Stop it. Stop it. It is deal with what is, right? Deal with what if if something bad is gonna happen, you know how to deal with it. Deal with it when it happens. Deal with it. Deal with it. Right? Deal with it when it happens. Uh, and Rich is wants us all to sing the Beatles. All you need is love. Da, 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 All you need is love, love, love is all you need. Um, it's true. But Tim, I'll ask you this. Are you looking for love? Or are you looking to give love? It really, that is, but Sharia, in the same way, if you want to feel love, you have to be willing to give it. You have to, you either feed the beast of fear, because you've got one meal, right? You got food. You're either going to feed the beast of fear or you're going to feed love. And let me tell you, when you start nurturing, feeding that softer side, the loving side, the good side, the absolute truth side, you start putting your energy to that, not towards the dark side, not towards the worrying, not towards the possibilities. When you start feeding the good things in your life, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It builds upon each other. I mean, a lot of bad things have happened. Bad. Well, are they bad things or is it life? Is it life? Bad things. I wrecked my car. All right. So I was without a car. Financially, there's been a lot of things that have happened in my life. That is, I'm so here I am trying to, life is a juggling act. Life is a whack-a-mole. Life is going to be a lot of work for all of us, right? And if you think about it, uh, you can easily feed the negativity, but instead keep feeding the positivity and what? So I'm dealing with my car. I'm dealing with the insurance company. Hi, Mace. I'm dealing with all of this. Meanwhile, I'm being text with somebody with a real problem, right? One of you have are in crisis and have reached out to me, and all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute. It's the car. It's a car. It's finances. It's how important is any of this? And don't you know what, Sharia? And the thing is if we walk around afraid of losing those we love, if we do that, we we're not being obedient Christian. We're almost taking over God's job. It's like God gave them to me. I don't want to give them back to God. I'm afraid of losing them. You know what? We don't owe anybody we love. We don't. We have. It's attraction. Mace, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, Mary. We don't owe everybody that you love. God loves more, more than you, right? You know how, what it feels like to be God? God gives you babies. Now all of a sudden, you feel like you're God over the baby. And you know how God lets you feel like God? The babies decide, we're not going to listen to you anymore. They get a certain age and it's like they want to fly the coop. And Mace is adding to it. Be part of the solution, not the problem. Uh, I'm telling you, even at the gym, I was doing some stretching yesterday. I think I'm going to go today, and I can't tell you that there are people, a lot of people who are drawn to me. One person is known to people I hate him. This is what I've been told. The gossip that goes around, it just it's crazy. So they come up and they start complaining, and and they tell me stuff, and I'm whatever, whatever. Uh, uh, and Sarah says that faith cannot coexist with fear, and it's so important that you know, Sharia, that God gave you something to love, but God created your baby from you, right? So you ultimately we there are people here that lost children, that have lost parents, who lost. We can't make decisions for anybody. Um, and we can't. That's why I always tell you that I'm not a doctor. Uh, Google. Don't trust a word I say. Fact check me. Fact check me. But I'll tell you what. It just you can't lose something that was never yours, Sharia. You can't through death. I've been in a bedside to my childhood best friend. This is, she was either sleeping at my house or I was at her house. And the second one is it was a mentor. We co-mentored each other with attitude, and he ended up dying. And so I was at his bedside at hospice, and I'll tell you, I'll tell you what, it just you can't lose something that's not yours. There, everybody's can be yours for a short amount of time. That woman who needed a hug, who walked over and held me, she and I held her back. She was mine, I was hers for that 30 seconds. 30 seconds, right? She is mine. Am I going to change the fact that she may make a decision to go out in a snowstorm without shoes or socks or a coat, and she may freeze to death? Can I control that? Am I going to worry about it? Oh my gosh, I'm so worried. If somebody's walking outside without a coat. There should be a law. There should be a law. No longer in the winter, when they drop below 30 degrees, is anybody allowed to walk outside of their house without a coat. You know what? We don't own them. If they want to walk out without a coat, and we may, you, we don't condemn. As Christians, we judge, but we don't condemn. And we judge, we're like, oh, it's below 30. It's cold out there. I wouldn't want to be doing that. But then again, that's them. If they think it's okay to wear shorts when it's 10 degrees outside and the wind's blowing, and who am I? Who am I? It's called live and let live. Let's live and let live. We walk out with our fur coat on and our layers and layers and heat and we can walk out. Hi, Karen. We can walk out while they're standing in the blowing 10-degree snow barefoot in shorts, and we can say, well, maybe, are you cold? Without making, try asking questions without making a judgment, a condemn, without condemning them. Well, yeah, you know what? Because the world will walk out and look at a guy standing in shorts with blowing wind and no shoes and say, "Well, you're an idiot." Try not to say that. Try to look at them while you're warming this. Look at a person like that and say, "How's that working for you?" Just look at the amusement. Look at, don't fear. You know, yeah, don't fear. I do not fear. Look for the amusement in all of it. Allow God to work through you to be an instrument of peace. Sharia, you can do that with people who need you. And it may not be the ones who are dying or the ones that have died. Sometimes it's your next door neighbor. That I like. In fact, I wish I had a car right now because I need to be able to get in the car and go off and do something by myself. And I say by myself, and I don't mean that because when I get in the car and I go off on an adventure, I'll go to not right, CVS, I'll walk in, I'll go to the grocery store, I'll go out, and I don't know what God has in store. I've met people in parking lots that want to help me, and all of a sudden they reveal a pain, something that is so horrible, and I'll ask them, "Can I pray for you?" And they say, "Yes, please pray for me." And you know what I do? I say, "Can I pray for you right now? Can we pray together? Can I hold your hand? Can we ask God to help you with this?" And you know what? That happens, and it's fun because it's more fun than doing laundry, more fun than taking a shower. By the way, Eric, it, I was thinking, is showering such a pain in the butt, or is it the fact that you get to pick out clothes to wear? So today I'm going to lay out 7 different outfits that I'm going to put in an area that maybe I'll clear off one of the bookshelves here, and I'll line up depending on the day of the week. I've got to do that because the problem is, even today, I got up and I got dressed, right? And I'm only going to show you this. All right, let's see. Can you see? Can you see this here? So this here, these are old pants that Brian bought me. The problem is I don't like how it makes my butt look. So this here's a swim skirt that one of my friends gave me that I can put over my leggings and it's not so in your face, right? But my point is that I pulled that out and I'm thinking I don't even like these leggings, but they can be paired. The outfit can be paired to be really cute if I don't put emotions to it. If I just go in with nice energy, lay out a couple outfits and put them in an area, in a closet or in a drawer, probably in a drawer, so that I don't have to think about it. And it's hard because you think, well, I have to be able to go to the gym. Do I wear these motorcycle boots that are warm? But am I going to wear it into the gym? Well, honestly, I'm going to walk awful with heels, with flats, with do I wear a fleece turtleneck? Do I wear it to the gym? I'm going to wear a long sleeve shirt underneath. It just, no, nah, no. You know what? I will say the reason why, uh, uh, summer lady, is you need to go to my gym with me. You know what? I can imagine strip joints doing well. And when I go to the gym, I look at the outfits these girls are wearing. Mom and I even went to BJ's because she went to exactly. Gina says the dressing is analysis paralysis. So you got to be on a high energy to lay out your outfits and just take it out. But all right, as far as porn, go down to your local gym. For all of you seedy guys that may like to, or girl watchers, join the gym because the leggings, in fact, the leggings now, they stitch the butt crack. So we saw in BJ's a size 16 legging, workout legging with the butt crack stitched up so that it accentuates the butt crack. So at the gym, there are there are leggings and half shirts, and I'll wear leggings, long sleeve. So I'll wear a long sleeve t-shirt underneath this, and I'll like to. I don't know. I don't know. But again, so I don't. And you boys, I need to say something. All right, I need to say something. Every day, wear something new. Every day. Yeah, you can't wear the same thing over and over again and plan on smelling. All right, Nixon. What does that mean? FYI, VAR. I got to delete, remove. I have to delete anything I don't understand. All right, yes. Hi, user, and okay, that's good. Okay, so false evidence appearing real is fear. All right, fear. Uh, with fear, you've got to be willing. You have to be willing to forgive yourself of the mistakes you made in the past. You have to be willing to forgive others, and you have to be willing to only look at the positive, right? To look at the positive, look at the pretty, fancy gal instead of the negative. You have to because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Uh, it is. You know when you see that your oak tree, say you've got an oak tree in the front yard that has been hit and is laying down, all right, you've got two decisions to make. One is, what the hell happened to my oak tree? Who's going to fix that? What's going? I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Or the second thing is I'll deal with the oak tree. I want to make sure that nobody was injured. I want to let me figure that out, and then let me slowly. It's do we unwrap an onion, or do we unfold a rose? All right, let's let the rose unfold. Let's take on life like it's a gift, and every action we do is a gift. Everything, whether you're holding, I'm Chris, whether you're holding somebody and they're yours for that minute, even your spouses. I mean, how much is our spouses ours? I mean, honestly, it just, they can never really know you. Who can really know you? Every once in a while, my dad says something, or my mom will say something, and I think, oh my gosh, you have no idea who you raised. I may be part of your seed and of your egg, but you have no idea. So I have to think. Your spouse will say something, they'll assume something. Who knows you? Who who truly knows you? God does. So if as long as you let people be who they are, make their own mistakes, make their own judgments, fear, whatever, you're not gonna change. what they are hell bent on doing. Right? I'm not going to change you, but I'm going to give you hope. All right, I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to tell you that your destiny is in your hands and that the things you can't control is not within your hands. That your destiny of being an instrument of God's peace can be realized if you nurture it, if you feed the right dog. Thank you for giving me a time check, Mace. I love all the people that are here today. Sorry I didn't talk a little bit more about MS, but such bad things are just in my face and happening. It just, and I know if they're happening to me, if I'm getting emails as a mentor from those of you who look at me as your ally, and who's to say, God didn't put me in your life to answer your emergencies, Sharia. I'm your person, so let's get through this together. We all lean on each other, and I want you to have a great weekend and reach out to somebody who is hurting and let's allow God, I just ask for everybody who's watching just to know you more, just to know our jobs that you would have us do or not necessarily what we want to do. Help insulate us from the exterior world that is trying to make us fearful of so many things. Lord, with you, there's no fear, Lord. Just grab a hold of us and comfort us. Comfort each other and allow us to comfort those who are in pain. In Jesus' name I give thanks. Amen. I love you all, and let's uh, have a great weekend, right? Thursday. Party time. Love you all. Bye. Bye.